folks, real quick. I'm going to try to use this as an example of how the type curve app works, which I mentioned in the call the other day that this is was asked by a existing client if I could add it in because I do collect a lot of well data and stuff like that. So it was, and I do forecasting on some of the apps as far as like a type curve on some wells that are AFE that are out there that haven't been drilled yet. So, it wasn't that hard to kind of add that in as a new module. Some of the stuff was bringing additional wells in that I don't typically bring into the filters and adding stuff like drawing, improving the drawing functionality or putting shape files in and things like that. So I'll walk through kind of like just like a really, really quick workflow on, maybe Baytex, which was, we did an analysis on that not too long ago on what the value of the Eagle Ford would be when they were selling it. So let's just go into that app real quick. We changed the way these kind of filters work, so they pull from like this different filing system than it used to. I think it's a little bit better on how it all works. For now, let's just pop this up. I've got the ability to save type curves, so as you're building out, you can kind of save an area and everything to improve your analysis, or just kind of go back and reference what you've done before. Maybe there's updated production data or something like that. You can compare your type curve that you had at the time versus what you'd saved. But for this, let's what was the Texas, and then we'll probably need to go to let's go look at the Carnes portion of, it might have been DeWitt too. Carnes DeWitt. Oh man, I dropped this thing out. Let's move that real quick. It'll as soon as you click off of a page, it'll stop using it and start filtering. So you need to make sure you select the ones you want first. There we go, DeWitt. So we'll just look at the Conoco portion of that acreage, I suppose. It's got 8565 wells there. It'll filter into there. So what we can do is we can add in our get rid of these partials and stuff like that. We can add in a shapefile custom. So I'll go through and I'll grab that one. Yeah, you're seeing some of these shapefiles that we have from historical stuff, reports, Baytex, and then we got the Baytex shapefile here. So it's going to pull that in. You can kind of adjust the view of that to make it darker or whatever you want, and change the color of it if you wanted. So maybe we'll just make it like gray. So showing it there. If we want to say we're going to use this as our filter, yeah, it'll grab 551 wells in that filter set. So it looks like a couple over here on there, but for the most part, it's going to be these kind of wells sitting up in here. 551. It's only showing. Oh, you got this main area. This is where it's going to be pulling from, all these wells over here on the type curve. I probably could have done a better job of showcasing how you do this, but it's going to be like this sample set of wells is going to get pulled in for this analysis. There is some acreage over here, but we'll do that at a different time potentially. So I'll use that as a filter. There's still too many wells. So maybe we want to change the date range to first production date of 2020, maybe something like that. January 1st. Let's see what that will get the well count down to. Use our thing as a filter again, and that will get us down to 322. Still too many wells. Stop drilling so much. 2023. Who knows? Reapply your filter, and still way too high. Let's move this to 01, 2025. Yeah, not that planned, so you can tell that I've just kind of winging it here. So let's go here. Maybe this will finally be our, there we go, 87 wells that fall within our type curve area here. Apply the filters, so you go onto this page. You can select, you'll actually get a summary of the wells there on average capex per well and capex per foot that's in this area, so it could help you with your type curve, so 8.4 million. And you can go and deselect and select wells you want, so maybe you don't want to see a specific one. I think for the most part, these are looking like on average like 8,000 foot laterals, so we'll go and do an 8,000 foot lateral normalization here. We'll call this Baytex non-op acreage. You'll have your curves, so you can look at whatever you want. Rate time, oil. I'll do just a 1 month build up real quick. 496, and then I'll just add a new segment for that one. We'll start at 860. Put a 1 on it, maybe 80. And you can look at 8% terminal decline out 25 years. You can look at rate cum to see kind of like how does that look. I think it looks fairly good on that one. Go through, do a gas curve. We'll get rate time again. Similar thing. I'll do 1203. I'll just do a 0.1 years just for that initial buildup. Then start at 2291 at the next rate. Keep it a little bit more aggressive on the B factor. Call it a 70. Yeah, it's getting pretty close. 71 maybe. I'll use 6 on that one, then 25 years also. So we'll do rate cum. Look how that looks. Maybe that's a little too mean. That's probably close enough. So you're looking at 1.7 something BCF maybe. And then a water curve. And water in Texas is obviously hard because they don't report at the well level water, but they do report well tests. So we're pulling water data from the well test largely when we do this. So do rate time once again, just to bore you all. I'll put in my initial factors, and maybe it's just because I'm a bit anal, want to get kind of close on this initial type curve. I'm building this out, do another one, and then I'll just leave it there. 25 years, 80%, whatever. So yeah, there's our curve. We can go look at rate cum real quick, see how they look. I think you will see that Eagle Ford wells do produce less water than oil. Maybe not as low as this, but it's still probably fine. You got your assumptions here on capex. I think we saw at the top it was what, 8.4. So if we wanted to do that, we're at 437.5. So we can add another 9,000 here. That'll get us close enough. You can have your assumptions on NRI, 75%. I think it's actually worse on this, like 72 or 73 when I was looking for the analysis. Shrink, let's say 25% of the gas is shrunk, and that NGL yields are 100. Spud to first production 6 months. You have some high-level oil and gas price stuff, some high-level assumptions on OPEX and stuff like that. This is set up 7.5. Let's go 4.6. 7.5% on the gas. Represent Texas. And then you go through and calculate your economics. So you'll get a high-level cash flow split and all the details here. You'll get your EURs, 350, 1297, 173. Your IRR, we're slightly above it, 22% at 60 and 3. So probably at today's price deck, it's not working too great, but that's where we are. Just looking at that analysis. You can export this to Excel. You'll give it a big Excel file with all the assumptions, the cash flows, and everything else. And then you can save the curve so you can come back to it. So now if I go and probably refresh on the type curve screen, should be able to see that new curve on here. Yep, so we go. And then we can just open it up and it'll just bring in all those same assumptions. You can just redo your analysis. So that's what we have on the type curves tool. If you have any questions, just feel free to email me at bd@afeleaks.com or just message me on whatever outlet you want to message me. But yeah, that's the type curve app. I'll probably be doing one for a few more of these apps and have them out there so that people can have some context when they're looking through or serve as a guide as if you're an existing customer. So welcome back to 2026 and everybody have a good one. Thanks.